It is the 9th of February. Girls and boys, brothers and sisters, and things that hide in the shadows. Well, Tucker Carlson's interview has come out. Honestly speaking, I mean, there's absolutely nothing new that Vladimir Vladimirovich has said in this interview that he hasn't said 100 times before, or I haven't said in various pods. It's just the first time that the voting class is actually going to hear something other than what their masters and owners tell them. So that may be coming as a shock and awe to the average American or the average UKer or everyone else in the West who's been believing with their heads up their rear ends everything that they've been told, mindlessly, like little drones. And that is the vast majority of the people of the West. Mindlessly going about what their owners tell them to go about. Same ones that are all getting their gene therapy booster number, who knows how many, so they can die off faster than ever. And their kitties can die off too. And they'll still go and get them because the owners told them to. So for all these people, this is probably a shock therapy of what Putin has said. If anybody that bothers to have listened for the last, I don't know, 15 years, would probably not see too many new things in this. It's the same message, it's just now being enforced by guns and missiles. Because it couldn't be enforced by words, or it couldn't even be heard by words. And no matter what you say, there's about a third, maybe even more, Americans, UKers, Brits, that think that the greatness of their nations, or their lack of, is because they can bomb someone. So as long as the UK, the lapdog of the American owner, and the American owner himself are bombing somebody, no matter what the reason is, they will cheer it because, hey, it's their lack of manhood, whatever's hanging between their legs, and whatever's shriveled up between their ears, they get to feel like a man, or like a big guy. Because other people are blowing up human beings that usually have made no threats to their home country, but they get to feel big about themselves. So that class of, I don't know how else to describe them, but mental pond scum, you're never going to reach. Well, until the first bombs start falling on their heads. Then all of a sudden, it's going to be the same thing as what the Hachol said after murdering Russians for 8 years in the Donbass. Why us? What did we do? That's the usual stupid answer from stupid people that finally get a comeuppance from their stupid actions. Why do I deserve this? Why? Because you bombed and murdered innocent people all over the world. So, listening to the sock puppets of the banker class in the West, otherwise known as the Liars Guild or professional bullshitters, otherwise known as the media. You know, it's amazing. The few of them that are actually acknowledging Putin's speech other than a footnote while they attack Carlson as a non-journalist, which he is a journalist. Because, you know, when CNN tells you who the journalists are, the biggest propaganda organ of the genocidal regime that is America, is telling you who and who isn't a journalist. Oh, yeah. Those are the experts. He'll have brought you Russiagate for 3 years. Those are the expert journalists. And when they come out with the only thing they get out of this speech is Putin is threatening all-out war on us innocent white, well, okay, they're not all white now, but innocent woke people. Because he said, if American soldiers are going to be in Ukraine and fighting Russian soldiers, and then there'll be all-out war. Well, stay fucking home. Instead of getting everybody's business. Nobody wants you. Except the big corporations that are yours to begin with. stay fucking home in America or on your rotten English island, and it'll all be cool, motherfuckers. All be cool. You know why? Because you're the ones that are warmongering, starting wars. So yes, if American and British soldiers are stupid enough to follow orders, well, not that they're going to have much of a choice. So let me rephrase that. If the owners of America are stupid enough to put them on the ground, yes, they will die. And yes, it'll be a full war. And no, we will not stay in Ukraine. You will get hit. And when Farage, God, what a globalist little twat. I mean, I actually respected this guy. I'll admit it. When Brexit was going, he was talking sense. But maybe that was just an act, or maybe he's just been bought, or maybe his brain has gotten rot like Biden's. But Farage is such a friggin' little globalist twat. Just a little less than the rest of them. And when he's talking about, oh, and Trump told me, doubtfully, that he told Putin if Putin attacks Ukraine, while Ukraine is murdering Russians, if Putin, in other words, let's translate it, if Putin stops Ukraine from murdering Russians in Ukraine, which are more than half the population, then U.S. will strike Moscow. Okay, strike Moscow. Within 10 minutes, the U.S. will be dead. And England will be a friggin' submerged New Atlantis. And Farage can hold his breath all he wants. But here's the media itself. Oh, and the other thing they got out of it was Putin like Trump. Well, that's why he's evil. God knows. Putin's eviler than evil. Because he's not only worse than Trump, he even liked Trump. So that makes him doubly evil, or triply or quadruply or something like that. Whatever new woke math dictates. So, yeah. So these are the moral standard bearers. Well, let me explain something to you. Less than average IQ Muppets who can read, because you kind of have to read the teleprompter to be a Western journalist, a Muppet. You have no idea how close we really are to nuclear war. And you're going to die. And that husband, wife, triple gender, quadrangle, multi-dimensional gender, whatever thing you're sleeping with, because the majority of them these days aren't heterosexual, is going to die with you in nuclear hellfire. And then you may be looking at real hellfire afterwards. And if you are normal, well, they're not normal, but heterosexual, and you have kids, spend more time with them, because they're going to get to die with you. Because you morons are propagating everything in this crisis to lead to nuclear war. And the money you're earning, the devil's wage you're earning, you ain't going to get to spend it. Not when everything's burning. But you're all too stupid. For God's sakes, are you people stupid? This journalistic class and the pond scum that listens to them, to understand what's going on and what you're pushing everybody into. Sad, but that's the reality of it. So how long is this going to last? Well, hopefully people like Tucker are going to break this trot to nuclear war that the so-called real journalists are all running at full pace to. I couldn't be more thrilled about. Because they're just usually too damn dumb to understand it. And they're so high in, America is superpower. It can't be touched. Yeah, it can. Yeah, actually, yeah, it can. And the technology is there, even without nuclear weapons, to level American cities. Just let me explain. A Surmat goes Mach 10. That's about almost 11,000 kilometers an hour. It carries 11 one-ton warheads that are now going 20, Mach 20, so over 20,000 kilometers an hour. They have nano coating, which is usually going to be some kind of carbon carbon nano tubes, that type of coating that deflects heat so they don't melt. You don't even, never mind a nuclear warhead. You don't need any kind of warhead. All you do is take that block, that entry vehicle, and fill it with cement. A 1-ton cement block, a meteor basically, heading at the speed of a meteor, coming down in a major city, 11 of them from one missile. I did the math once, if I remember correctly, it was something like about 6 or 7 gigajoules of energy. So basically, you're going to have something that's going to punch through New York down to about a mile deep. And the energy drop, the kinetic energy drop from it is going to level whole buildings everywhere around for a block or more. You don't need nuclear weapons to wipe out New York City or any other city in this world. A dozen such missiles and most of central New York is going to look like Gaza that you're actively helping murder. By the way, you hypocritical bastards. You want to look like Gaza? We can arrange that. And a lot faster than what the Israelis are doing. But again, most of the time I'm speaking to a wall. Not to my listeners here. Because most of my listeners have woken up, if they were ever asleep, and understand the crap. But the unfortunate part is the vast majority of their countries haven't, and probably won't until they're dying, because they're too, I don't know, maybe they're just mentally incapable. I would like to think otherwise, and I'm really hoping, and maybe it's a naive hope, that Tucker Carlson's interview with Vladimir Vladimirovich, that finally that these people are going to hear something other than the crap that they've told constantly, is going to wake some of them up. Let's pray and hope. God bless.